And it is time to visit with one of our favorite people, Attorney Kim Baer joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
We learn something every time you're here.
Yes. Well, I thought this morning, since it's winter time and we have a lot of car accidents in the winter time, that maybe we'd talk about damages and things that people should be doing. If you've been hurt in a car accident or hurt on the job or you've had a slip and fall and you've been hurt, what types of things do you need to be doing to prove your damages down the road?
All right, something to keep in mind.
Something to keep in mind. So the first thing that I talk to my clients about is if you're hurt, you need to be going to the doctor. So a lot of times people will say, well, I'm gonna push through it, I'm going to tough it out, or I've been to the doctor and the doctor said come back in a week, and it's been a week, but I'm feeling better, but I'm still not 100%. And the reason why it's important to go to the doctor is the insurance adjusters often say to me, well, Kim, if your client was really hurt, how come they didn't go to the doctor?
Documentation,
Documentation,
right?
Documentation, yes. You know, and sometimes if you're not getting better, you might need physical therapy. And I tell people, especially if they're over the age of like 20, 25, they probably need physical therapy because otherwise you're going to have a long-term injury. So you want to make sure that you're actually going somewhere. And then the other thing is when you go to the doctor, make sure you complain. Take a list of the issues.
Don't just say, oh, I'm all right.
I'm all right.
No,
I'm
don't
here.
say that.
My back still hurts a little bit, but it's better. You know, we want you to be honest with your doctor, but we also, you know, it's usually not our nature to complain. So take the list of the things that are bothering you and make sure.
Well, you don't know Jason very well. Okay, so
I'm married to a doctor. She never listens. So.
She never listens. No.
He has practice, yeah.
Yeah. So and then lost wages. So if you miss work, maybe you miss work to go to a chiropractor appointment or a physical therapy appointment. So keep track of all those types of things. And then if there are things that you miss, maybe you missed your kid's concert, or maybe you had a vacation you had to cancel. So just keep a calendar and keep track of things that you love to do that you weren't able to do. And so that's all helpful. Then the other thing I wanted to talk about was loss of consortium, because people seem to think that what that means is I wasn't able to have a relationship in that way with my husband or my wife. And loss of consortium actually means a whole lot of things. It means, let's say you and I are married and you're in a car accident and you used to do all the yard work and you used to do all the laundry. And now you can't do it. If I have to do it, then that's something that's changed our relationship. And chances are I'm probably not going to be very happy about doing it, you know?
Right.
So it changes the nature of our relationship.
You always mix the whites and the colors together. Right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. And the same thing, loss of consortium with your kids. So if you're a parent and maybe you're the one that is always doing things for your kids, or you're in the process of teaching them their ABCs, I mean, things that you miss, but likewise your child has a claim.
Now, would that be including taking them to their events?
Yeah, taking them to their events, spending time with them, maybe you read them books every night. So, you know, what we find is that if someone's been hurt, and if they're seriously hurt, it impacts everybody in the family, and everybody in the family has a claim. So we want to be documenting all of those things. Yeah,
I never would have thought that.
Yeah, people overlook that. Another common myth is people say, well, you know, we were in a car accident and this person was killed, so they obviously have the biggest claim. Not necessarily, because Iowa's a little strange with regard to our wrongful death statutes. So if someone passes away with regard to lost wages, the only thing we're able to recover is what you would have saved over or accumulated over your life.
Retirement.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly. Retirement. So not what you, but if you're alive and you miss 2 years of work, we're able to collect 2 years worth of wages.
Okay.
So I tell people, you know, don't die. You want to be alive. Yeah, don't be dead.
Okay,
Yeah.
first, don't die.
Right.
First, don't die. You know, and then the other thing, just keep a log, keep a mileage log. Those things are helpful. Keep a log of what your pain is, because I talk about pain and sufferings a lot like childbirth. If we all remembered what childbirth was like, we'd all have one child. But I mean, really, if you think about it. So for pain and suffering, what happens is when you get better and you're back to work and you're back to your normal life, your psyche tends to
You have amnesia about the birth.
You do.
Yes, you do.
You do.
Push it back.
You
Yeah.
push it back. So it's good to be keeping a log and be keeping a calendar, and you know, and if there was a job promotion you were supposed to be able to apply for, you know, we want to get documentation maybe from your employer on those issues. So there's just lots of things that people think of that they don't think anyone's going to question them, and just the fact that you say you went through it may not be enough. So that's one of the things that we look at.
Now, is this simply for, or specifically just for car accidents or things like this, or if you slip on the ice, for example?
Yeah, if you slip on the ice, although in Iowa those claims are very difficult because if it's open and obvious, and then we have a snowstorm doctrine, so if there's a storm going on and you slip and fall, chances are there's not going to be anybody to sue. So you know, Iowa is kind of open your eyes and look and govern yourself. But no, if you've been hurt on the job, you've been hurt in a car accident, you've maybe been hurt, you know, tripping or falling on in somebody's house or somebody's business. So anytime you're hurt and it's not your fault, you just want to start making sure that you're kind of keeping some records just in case you need it.
This is well and good if the other person is insured, right? But if they're not, good luck.
If they're not, now let's talk about a car accident. Let's say that they don't have insurance, then that's when we can make a claim on your car insurance. So and that's the reason why you want to make sure that you have good coverage for underinsured and uninsured. So in a lot of times, I mean, you can waive that in Iowa, which is not a good idea, or you can have low limits. So I tell people, I like to see them, if you're talking to your insurance adjuster, have $100,000 or $300,000 coverage, because if you break an arm or you break a leg or you miss a couple months of work, I mean, that's a pretty significant claim. And you have coverage under your own car accident, your own car insurance, if you've got underinsured or uninsured coverage. So very important. Same thing with regard to med pay. You want to pull out your insurance papers and make sure you have some med pay coverage, because that helps with the medical bills. So let's say that you're working and maybe you don't have health insurance, or you're an hourly employee, and so when you're off work you don't get paid.
Right.
That med pay is so helpful because we can use that to pay your medical bills and pay your out-of-pocket, especially if you're going to be off work for a while. So one of the things, I kind of sound like I'm a commercial for car insurance, but
you need to pay attention to it.
But you do need to pay attention. And a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm not going to worry about it. But the limits in Iowa, the minimum limits are $20,000. So if somebody has insurance, and if they're a young kid, chances are they're going to have 20 grand. And 20 grand just doesn't go very far if you're in a car accident.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, and especially if you've got more people in your car who were hurt, or if it was a 3 or 4 car pileup, then I've got a case right now where there were 4 people seriously injured, and the person who caused the accident actually had $300,000 of coverage, but that's not nearly enough because we've got
4 people.
For 4 people who all ended up having to be airlifted to the hospital. Yeah, and so that's helpful to then the next thing I say to my clients is, let's look at your insurance policy. And luckily they have $100,000 per person, so we've got some more coverage there.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
So
now, if anything does happen, obviously with all these different things to consider, it's the smart thing to do is call an attorney.
Yeah, you want to call an attorney, and on these car accident cases, I mean, most lawyers take them contingency fee. We offer a free consultation. We'd rather have you come in and sit down with us and ask your questions, and we can give you the tips of what to do while you're treating. And then obviously we wait until you're done treating. But yeah, call a lawyer.
All right. And how do we get a hold of you then?
Yeah, so if you want to call us, we're located across from Vets Auditorium, 515 Injured.
There it is. Easy to remember. Wonderful. Great job. Good information.
All right, thanks.
Thank you so much.